What's up, everyone? Welcome into Mikey's boardroom. I am Mikey.
I'm Krista.
And this is our boardroom tonight. We're going to film a review of The Loop. Dr. Faux strikes back. That's actually what it's called.
Is it?
See? Dr. Faux strikes
funny.
back. The Loop is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players where you are basically trying to take down Dr. Faux. He's jumping through all the eras of space-time from the beginning of ages up to the end of times, dropping red rift cubes into his machine and trying to create vortexes in each space-time. So you are trying to complete objectives and trying to stop him from turning those objectives into vortexes. It's got deck building mechanics where you have a deck of cards and you build it. What do you know? Who would have thought?
Wait, are they called rift cubes?
Rift cubes.
This whole time I thought you were calling them rift cubes.
Rift cubes?
Yeah.
Diddly-diddly-doo-doo.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense, though, that they're called rift cubes.
Rift cubes, yeah. It's creating a rift in space.
I get it, yeah. It makes more sense than what I thought.
So yeah, that is, we have a playthrough up. You can check that out. And it's a pretty fun game, but we're going to review it and talk about all of that.
Did Pandasaurus not respond?
Pandasaurus responded.
Oh, they did.
They responded, okay. And I filled it out, and so they're going to send a replacement piece that we were missing. It's so Gmail, the app is so dumb. I missed it. They responded like immediately, basically.
Oh, really?
I missed it because it wasn't in my inbox. Gmail put it in the important folder.
Oh.
And I don't know. I just was like, oh, what's this? I have an unread email. Oh, from September funny. Something. So cool. Oh, whoops. So yes, they did. Thank you, Pandasaurus, and they're sending it out. So A+ on that. So yeah, we're just gonna go over what we liked, what we didn't like, and then some secondary thoughts about the game. Something to keep in mind if you're looking to play it. So anything to say before we dive in? Before we jive in?
Nice.
We jiving.
Isn't it jamming?
Yeah, but I said jive.
Okay.
Like that.
Nope.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about things we liked. So for me, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the whole theme of Dr. Faux jumping through space-time, and you play as like these characters that all have special abilities, and you have to basically stop him using abilities on your cards in your deck. I really like that theme.
I like it too. It reminds me of like something that would be on Cartoon Network.
Exactly. The theme, yes. A Cartoon Network show of this would be amazing. Yeah, the theme is probably the best thing about it, in my opinion. Not that this game is bad or anything, but the theme is definitely the best thing about it.
I like
it's an awesome theme. Dr. Faux is awesome. He looks awesome.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
Yeah, it's very, very, very good theme. Yeah. The second thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that is the art. I really like the art. The art fits it really well. This is Pandasaurus, and they also did Brew. I don't know if it's the same person who did the art for both, but they're kind of similar in like the style and the way they look a little bit, would you say? No?
I have absolutely no
clue. Okay, anyways, to me it seems like a similar style to Brew. I think it's right over there. But to me it looks like it's similar in the style. Maybe not the style. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off base. Let's just skip over that entirely. Forget I mentioned Brew. The art is really, really good. I like just the way it looks. Very cartoony.
I think they did a really good job. It's well done.
It really looks like kind of like an Adult Swim show.
Yeah.
It looks really, really cool.
It's well
the
done.
Art and the theme are A+ in my opinion.
It almost like jumps out at you like in a comic book.
Exactly. Yeah, a comic like it just I don't know. It's just very, very solid. Really well done. Yeah. If I was just walking down the aisle, I had no idea what the Loop was.
Yeah.
The box would immediately catch my eye and be like,
I agree.
What is that? What is that guy? And how do I stop him?
I agree.
So yeah. Art, theme, on point.
Yep.
Anything you want to say before I
jump to my next? No, I agree wholeheartedly. I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun to look at. Like, I just enjoy looking at it.
Exactly. The next thing that I really like is the whole Dr. Faux machine dice tower idea, where you drop, depending on how many clones are in that region, you when the clones are these little tokens, you drop rift cubes down into the cube, and then there's 3 outlets. So basically you turn it towards one of the eras of space-time, drop the cubes in, and then they can land in one of 3 spots. And I really like that mechanic. I really like that, just doing that. It adds a lot of it adds a lot of, what's the word, intensity or tense moments. It adds tense moments where you're like, I can't,
shoot, where's
like,
it
shoot, we have these 3, this one's already got 2, we can't let a third one go there, but we're dropping 4. Like, it just adds that sort of, like, moment where everybody's holding their breath and you drop it and you're waiting to see, and then it's like either, or yeah, it's kind of got that rush.
Yeah.
That I like in games.
I don't really get that in games, but I do agree when you were rolling it, I was like, where's it going to go?
Yeah. Adds tense moments, I guess, was my whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing I liked, or the biggest, probably the meatiest positive for me, is that the gameplay is solid.
Yeah,
the cards are fun to use. They all play well off of each other.
I like that there's different kinds of games, or what's the word, like, there's different various games. Game modes, different game modes.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to talk
that.
about, is that there's a lot of variability.
Yeah, which is a big deal to me with games.
There's 4 or 5 different game modes, and then they go from simple up to more advanced.
Yeah.
And on top of that, each game mode has a different difficulty level.
Yeah, I like that. It makes it just different every time you play.
The card play is solid. I really like how the abilities all play off of each other.
Yeah.
Building out your deck and taking the cards off the board and adding it.
Yeah.
There's ways to build it out to make. I don't know. It's just they play.
I'm
well
going to
off
ask you
each
the
other.
word. This is the word I think applies,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure if I'm using it correctly.
Okay.
The game, I think, is multifaceted. Is that the right word? I think that means there's just a lot to it. Multifaceted. I gotta look it up now.
Okay, look at multifaceted.
It sounds right to me.
You look at multifaceted.
But I'm not 100% certain.
But the starting deck that you start off with is pretty solid, to be honest. Considering like most deck builders, your starting deck is trash and you're like trying to get rid of those cards. The starting deck I feel is pretty good. For the most part, I didn't feel like I wanted to get rid of cards, but adding cards into it really helps open up your possibilities more. It helps, you can take cards that push clones and take cards that get rid of rift cubes and all sorts of stuff, or add green cubes, energy cubes. So I feel like you start with a solid deck that's fun to use.
I don't know what's going on in my Google.
Are you even listening to me?
No, because Google wasn't doing anything. I was trying to figure out it. Many-sided.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's multifaceted.
Especially cut of a gem.
Yeah.
So you really nailed it with that one.
No, like there's just many sides to it. There's a lot of different. Yeah. So yes, I used it correctly.
Sure.
Multifaceted.
Well done. Your vocabulary is.
Except I wasn't confident.
Your vocabulary is ubiquitous. Anyways, what was I saying?
I have no idea. I wasn't listening.
I was saying that I like you start with a solid deck of cards, and then adding cards to it just opens up all the possibilities and makes it even better. So the cards are like always fun. The card art's great. Yeah. The card play is fun. The cards was like the highlight for me.
Yes, but there's a negative to the cards a little bit. Are you going to get into that later? We're just talking about the cards.
Yeah, I go pros.
So should I bring it up?
Pros.
We're talking about the cards?
Pros. Go ahead. I mean, you're your own person. You do what you want.
It's fine. If you have an order to it, I don't want to be spanked.
Ruin my video. Yeah, I was basically done.
Okay.
The cards are the deck building is fun in it. I found the
especially
the card
once
play.
we realized that after you complete a mission, you get to cards, draw cards. We didn't know
the
that
first 2 times we played. We were like, man, like I only added like 4 cards, but now like.
And some of the cards have you discard cards, and we were like, why did we discard cards?
So once you complete a mission, you get to buy a card basically or take a card. So, card play, card mechanics, card combos, spot on. There's a lot of comboing that you can do, and the cards play off of each other pretty well. Anything else positive to say before I move into the negatives for me?
No, I just think it's well done. I like all the names. I like the Time Prowler, Mr. Time, Robo Finisher 404. I just think they put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
And I like it.
It is
not just the theme, but like I think that it's well done.
It's just the whole game in its entirety is extremely well done.
Yeah.
Extremely well done. There's extremely well done. Okay, so let's talk about the negatives. Okay. The first negative is the game's just not well done.
Playing with you. Definitely negative number 1.
Yeah, but that's every game. You can't hold it against the loop. That is every game. My biggest complaint, and basically my only real complaint about this game, is that it's too easy. It's so easy. Like, I don't know why. I read some forums of people talking about like, oh, like it's, hard, and like, oh, how did we, like, I lost this. We didn't lose once. We played like tons of game modes, tons of different difficulties, and we never really even struggled.
We struggled like once, but we came out of it so
It wasn't a struggle. It was just like
we were overrun with what are these called?
With clones, the tokens, and so
we thought we were screwed,
he was dropping like 4 rift cubes every time at least, and we thought we were screwed, but it was never an issue. Like,
I think where it matters is who you're playing with, because we would have lost had I not been playing.
The time prowler's ability helps a lot.
So I think maybe if we played with different combos of characters, it might be harder.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so easy, and like to us, or watch our playthrough. Maybe we made a horrible mistake that makes it so easy. But it felt very easy. I never like broke a sweat. I never even worried. And like I said, we never lost, even playing on the highest difficulty on the more complex game modes. So the big negative for that for me is that it takes a lot of fun out of it. And the game already kind of feels like a to-do list, where it's like
that. I liked that. I said that. Remember, I said it's like a to-do list. I
don't. That alone is not a negative, where it's like a to-do list, because it's like I have to move here, take this cube, then I need to do this, destroy that machine. The game kind of feels like a to-do list, which is fine.
I liked that.
Just how easy it and how like simple it is, or not simple, but how menial it is to do it. It just makes it feel even more like a to-do list rather than the game building and being hard and me having to kind of like figure out a way to beat Dr. Faux. It just added, the advanced game modes, it didn't feel harder. It just felt like there was one other thing that we have to do. So rather than making it harder, like the laser centrifuge, rather than make it harder, it was just like, okay, now we have to complete 4 missions and destroy the machines.
It's just a wrench.
Exactly. It's just there was one other thing added to that to-do list, and the harder to get difficulties are basically dropping more tokens, which means dropping more rift cubes. So it just kind of adds, rather than making it actually harder, it just adds something else that you need to do before you win. So that really kind of was my biggest negative, or really my only negative, is just how easy the game was. How menial it all felt. Menial, I think, is the right word. Your vocabulary is obviously better than mine. We decided, but yeah, just how menial it all feels doing it.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy, but that doesn't really bother me because it was still fun. Like if it was easy,
it was fun.
And not fun, there'd be an issue.
It was still fun. Like I said, overall, it was fun. It was very easy though, and it never felt hard.
It felt good to like put a cube on a box and be like, okay.
Yeah, it feels satisfying.
So,
getting rid of the cubes feels good whenever you combo well and you're able to, use your cards to do stuff. It feels good. Yeah. It's just it was never a struggle ever.
It wasn't a struggle, but
ever.
I don't think it was that big of a deal to me.
Okay.
Different opinions. I didn't mind it. I thought it was fun. It was easy for sure.
Yeah.
Easy, but I didn't think that was a big deal. I thought it was fun. It still felt good. Complete a mission, and when you got a vortex, I was like, oh no, he got a vortex. So like,
oh no Dr. Faux,
I gotta work harder. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
That's my only negative. Do you have any other negatives?
I don't think the cards comboed off of each other that well.
Okay.
Like some of them did, but a lot of them didn't. Like a lot of them were just standalone cards, which is fine. But
I think that speaks more to your deck building abilities.
Maybe your game teaching abilities.
My game teaching abilities are crap. Anybody who's watched our playthroughs knows that my teaching abilities are not on point.
No, I think what I mean is that you don't get to like keep cards. So at the end of the round, you get rid of all your cards, and then you're dealt a random assortment of cards. So how can you work to play cards off of each other when you get 3 new random ones each time? So that's kind of how I feel. Like there's just no
when you build out your deck well, which is kind of hard to do because in this game you start with like 6 cards and you draw 3, so you're always cycling your cards. But they do combo well off of each other, but not always. You're right. It's not. So there are a lot of things. Yeah, exactly. You can plan, but you're not always going to be being able to combo those cards. It's not like I don't know, like Magic where you have to build the odds and it's like the odds are in your favor that you're going to get this combo. It's just sort of like you can basically add greens, remove reds, or destroy or push clones around the board. So there are combos that happen when you have like the right cards out in front of you.
Yeah, when they get dealt to you correctly.
But it's also eat that fly for me, would you?
Ugh.
But
there was an old lady who swallowed a fly.
Exactly.
I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
You gonna die.
We all die. We're all dying every day.
Not Elijah. Was it Elijah? In the Bible, Elijah went up to heaven in the chariot.
I don't remember.
Somebody in the Bible didn't die.
I mean, there's a couple people. Or was it just one?
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyways.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Cards.
Yes. Anyways, my point being that you just can't plan because you have to discard after every round, and that's kind of frustrating because you don't know what you're going to get dealt.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if that's a negative per se for me.
Because they all work well. It's just you can't really play them together.
Yeah.
It's
kind of, I guess it's like another thought about the game, but it's like there's no point in saving your cards. You might as well, if you can use it, there's not really a point in not using it because you're going to discard it after that turn anyway. Sometimes you get in the position where you can't use the card, but if you have it and it does something that you can do, you might as well do it. There's no strategy in not doing it because you're going to discard that hand after. Ouch, I just hit my hand.
I just think like a lot of people like that, like planning ahead with cards.
Right.
I mean, like I'm going to use this to do this, and you can't.
You can do that
if you get
based on how you buy your cards for your deck, but just based on the way the game plays, where it's like. You're not thinking I'm going to get to this spot to buy this card as much as you're thinking I'm going to get to this spot to remove these cubes before we lose.
Or to complete this
mission. And you're like, oh, hey, I happen to land on a spot with a card. Great, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
So it is kind of hard to plan out.
Yeah.
So
I'm right.
You're right.
I'm right.
As usual. Any other cons before we move on?
I don't think so.
All right, so let's move into just our secondary thoughts on the game, or other thoughts or things we think you should know before you buy this game. The biggest one is that it's a cooperative game, so you always are using an AI. There's an AI deck, or depending on the game mode, there's also a game mode that uses sort of an AI system. But you're basically always going with everybody you're playing with against Dr. Faux, trying to take him down. So always a use of an AI, and some people just don't like AIs at all.
But you can play solo. Oh, but then you're with an AI.
Solo, you're with an AI. There's always an AI. Okay. So if you don't like AIs, you detest using an AI.
You're screwed.
Obviously, you're not going to want this game. And then the other thought I had is just like I mentioned earlier, I've seen multiple threads on BGG and online just talking about like the difficulty in this game and how hard it is to win. And it just makes me wonder, what are we doing wrong? Because the game was so easy. That was the biggest detriment to me, is how easy it was. So,
have you watched somebody else play it?
No.
Just to make sure you're playing it right.
I mean, our gameplay's been up for over a week now, and nobody said anything.
True.
So
that's true.
Okay. Yeah, so you think all 30 of you would have said something.
If we played it wrong, it's him, because he reads the rules.
I read it and I teach it, so it's 100% on me. I don't think we're playing it wrong, but it's possible.
We're just better.
We're brilliant. If you struggle, you're an idiot. No. To us, it seemed too easy. All right. Anything else before we move into final scores? Anything at all?
No. Other than, I think this is a great game to like play with junior hires.
Yes.
I think it's a really good game to play with junior hires. Yeah. You learn to work together.
Yes.
And how to complete missions and stuff.
I think junior high is the optimal age for this game.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good.
So let's talk about final scores. Do you want to go first, or shall I?
You can go first.
Right. So I am giving this game a 2 out of 5. Mm-hmm. And what that means for me is that it's a solid game. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. And basically I'm giving it a 2 because it was just so easy. It was fun. There was never a moment where I didn't have fun playing it. Mm-hmm. So you'd think I'd give it a better rating. But by the time when the game was over, I was just kind of like...
Trust me, I know.
You know what?
You complained every time.
I didn't complain. Okay, I complained a little.
Yeah, every time.
When the game was over, I was just kind of like, it kind of felt like a waste because it was like a to-do list. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this to do that, to remove this. I'm doing this to do that, to destroy that clone, which completes that. Mm-hmm. Like, it just never felt challenging. It never felt hard. And it felt like a bunch of little tasks put together to complete the game. And it was never a struggle. So for me, that's why I'm giving it a 2 out of 5, because I'm kind of done with it. I don't really want to play it anymore. I'm fine getting rid of it. And if you asked to play it, I would be completely fine playing it, but I'd probably rather play something else. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's a 2 out of 5. Again, nothing inherently wrong, and I had fun the entire time I was playing it. But for me, a 2 out of 5.
Okay. I'm thinking.
We don't plan this ahead at all.
We don't.
We basically come up with our rating as we say it.
I have a terrible memory, so we have to go through it for me to remember it all again.
3 kids and all that.
And I was born blonde.
She started here. I was born blonde. That's dye. That's a dye. No, it's not.
No, it's the 3 kids and
It's
no
3
sleep.
kids. And no sleep.
Okay.
Those will kill your brain cells for sure.
They will. Okay. I'm just torn because...
Just give it what you feel, not what you...
I know. No, I'm not. I'm trying to decide what I feel. What's a 3 again? You gotta remind me every time.
A 1? Okay, a 5? Okay. A 3 is a game that you like. Yes. You'll play basically whenever you're always down to play it. It's not inherently going to stay in our collection just based on personal preference or other games that you have. But it's a good game that you enjoy playing that you'll basically almost never turn it down if somebody was like, I want to play this. A 4 is a game that we own. It's in our collection. It's just not the best of the collection. Those are 5s.
Okay.
A 2, like I already explained. And then a 1 is there's something wrong with the game. Like, it's not like just that you don't like it. It's that there's something wrong with the game.
I was leaning towards this number anyways.
Okay.
I would give it a 3.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. There was, like, nothing really wrong with it. It was fun. It felt good. It's just not, like, amazing. And I would totally want to play it sometime. Yeah. But I won't make you either. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
So
to me, it was the equivalent.
Which
the equivalent.
You French now?
Again, it was the equivalent. To me, it was the equivalent of like when you play like an app game, which I also don't do. So maybe this is a bad.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going.
But like when you play like an app game and you just like it's just basically doing whatever you got to do, and then you're done for the night, and an hour's gone by, and you wasted that time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically it just felt like at the end of the night, it was like just busy work. It was all just busy work. That's what I'm trying to say. It was just busy work to fill your time. You never had to struggle. You never had to think too hard. It was just busy work that felt satisfying, but it was just, at the end of the day, it was just busy work to me. And that's, I guess, why I rated it 2. Were we talking about your rating? Because I just kind of...
Yeah, we were. I'm used to you taking over my thoughts and ideas.
Let me talk for you.
I'd give it a 3.
3?
Which is funny. Usually I give a lower rating.
So, with that being said, me a 2, you a 3. That's an average of 2.5. Are we keeping this game? Or are we getting rid of it?
I personally would probably keep it on our shelf. I don't know if we'd really ever pick it up again, but I personally would. But I'm fine getting rid of it because you don't like it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I feel like I want to get rid of it because I don't ever really feel like I need to play it anymore. Like I've had my experience with it. I enjoyed it for what it was, and now I'm ready to move on from it. But I also think that this game, like I said, is great for middle schoolers around that age.
School, yeah.
And so I would be completely fine keeping it for when the kids kind of get older and playing with them, or just playing with all those other kids we hang out with.
We're not. So.
I don't know why I said that.
That's weird. Michael Scott over here, little kid lover.
Little kid lover, yeah. I'm going to name Little Kid Lover so everybody knows exactly where I stand. I mean, I could see us keeping it for when the kids get older, but I don't think I would ever play it with just you and I again. Another reason this game might be good is if you're going to play with like parents.
I feel like it might be too hard.
Too hard for parents.
Imagine teaching this to your dad. Like, no offense, Grandpa, if you're watching it.
It's just the fact that like older people struggle with like complicated games.
Domino.
Yeah. Yeah, we played Junior Ticket to Ride with my mom, and she kept making mistakes and stuff against them. But I don't know. I feel like older people could grasp this, and you could play it. I guess that's where this game is good, is you can kind of play with anybody.
Yeah, it'd be fun with another couple. Like if we were hanging out with another couple, it's an easy one to throw out.
Yeah. It's very laid back. You can teach it the same night you play it.
It's enjoyable.
It's cooperative. Yeah. There's a lot of reasons that this game belongs in a collection just for us and the way we play games.
And we don't really hang out with other people.
Nobody likes us, and so I don't see us playing this. Just you and I, because when it's just you and I, we can play a harder game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much for a game to be harder than this, in my opinion. Like, we can play an easy game and it'll still be harder than this. Because, like I said, this game is just kind of going through the motions. But anyways, we're repeating everything we've already said now.
Trust me, I know. You're like your dad.
Again, if you're watching this. Okay, anything else you want to say about it?
No.
Okay, so yeah. Check it out. Watch our gameplay of it. There's definitely people that will love this game. And don't take our scores as, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just because I gave it a 2, don't think that this game's not for you. Because there's a lot of people out there that could probably play this all the
3.
time and get a lot of satisfaction out of it because it is satisfying when you're removing cubes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's about it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching our loop review. Like I said, we got a gameplay up. You can go check out that. We have a lot of other videos if you want to check that out as well. We do gameplays and reviews and just general board game stuff. If you're still here, still watching, like, comment, subscribe, all that. But if none of that is your thing, thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. Thank you for skipping ahead to right now. Hey, how's it going? That's about it. So with that said, go out there, show some kindness, you jerk. Anything else you want to say?
It's mean.
That was the joke.
No.
Show kindness, you jerk.
Uncalled for.
Anyway, show some kindness. Be a loving person. Everybody needs love.
Yes.
Anything you want to say?
Do.
Anything you want to say?
God bless.
Take care. Watch more videos. What's up, everyone? Welcome into Mikey's. Ooh, look at these biceps. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get your tickets?
Exactly. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Ready?
Just call me. What's one woman's name?
Yeah, what is one? Diana.
Diana. Just call me Diana. Look, I got the.
How about I call you
Okay.
Gertha?